Hello, I'm Dr. Darryl Cross and I'm a clinical and organisational psychologist, and as well I'm an accredited international executive and personal coach. Life is about taking risks, and one of the ways that I talk to my clients about taking risks and managing life is to look at these concentric circles here, which don't mean much at the moment. But what I explain to people is that most of life is lived in the inner circle, and it probably comes as no surprise to you to learn that that is in fact the comfort zone. That's the area around us that we are very familiar with. We're familiar with our friends, our work, our family, our neighbourhood, our locality, our state, our city, whatever it is. It's that kind of bubble around us that is very familiar territory. And most of us like to live in that bubble. We're creatures of habit, and we don't like to move outside the bubble. But what is outside the bubble? Well, what's outside this zone is something else that I think is really important and speaks to us about risk taking. And I call it fondly the courage zone. The courage zone. Because it takes courage to move outside that which is familiar to us and venture forth into those areas that are seemingly not as familiar. Now, what's really interesting about this is that if in fact you move in one direction in your comfort zone, let's say that you decided to attend a particular course, or you decided to learn a particular new skill, or you signed up for a package of DVDs, or you decided to go and join a new group. What happens to your comfort zone is that it just doesn't bubble out in that little area that you've actually progressed in, whatever it is, learning a new skill, meeting a new group of people. What happens is it pushes the comfort zone all the way out, all the way around. And so your comfort zone gets expanded out in every direction. And that's actually what happens as you expand out in every direction, is that you tend to grow and develop. There's a saying, and it's not my saying, but it's Tony Robbins' saying. It's basically, he says, the amount of uncertainty that you can live with, in other words, the amount of risk that you can live with, the amount of living in the courage zone that you can live with, determines the quality of your life. Let me say that again. The amount of uncertainty that you can comfortably live with determines the quality of your life. So what does that mean to me? Well, that means really that this comfort zone is fairly important, because that's where you grow, and that's where the juice of life is lived. And many people will say to me, and to others, boy, aren't you lucky? Aren't you lucky that you can do this or you can do that? And I say to them, luck has nothing to do with it. Those who are successful have spent time expanding their courage zone and living in that area of uncertainty, that area called risk. It is about risk. And what happens then is that comfort zone expands until that area there becomes the comfort zone. And then what do? You grow and develop again, and you set another circle out here, which becomes your new courage zone. And that's where you grow, continue to grow by expanding out this zone from your comfort zone into the courage zone. So I put it to you that life is really about living in the courage zone. Take the risk. Of course, part of you will be fearful, part of you will be panicky, because we're all creatures of habit. But understand that's human nature. Feel the anxiety and go with it. The juice of life is in the courage zone. You owe it to yourself. You don't want to live life in the rut. It's about the juice of life growing and developing. And as I said, you owe it to yourself.